Jai Siyaram. Today we are going to make this beautiful analog clock by using JavaScript. In this video, we will be using canvas in JavaScript to create this beautiful analog clock. So let's get started. Here we have one HTML file, that is clock.html. Now it is blank. Let's open it with our code editor. Let's open. Now in this HTML, I'm going to write the basic HTML. After that, we will create one canvas element and we will give one ID. Let's say my canvas, and we will give some width, say 500, and some height 500. After that, we will add the script. In this script, we will access our canvas element by get element by ID. So let's access document.get element by ID, and the ID will be my canvas. After that, we will create one more variable, radius, and we will store our radius, and the radius will be equal to half of the width of my canvas or half of the width of height of my canvas. I am writing half of width divided by 2. Next, we will create two more variables, cx and cy, to store the center coordinates of our clock. So let's store cx is equal to my canvas dot width divided by 2. Similarly, cy is equal to my canvas dot height divided by 2. Next, we will add the get context 2D method so that we will be able to draw on the canvas element. ctx is equal to my canvas dot get context 2D. Now we have to draw our clock. To do so, I am going to create one function, and the function name will be draw clock. To draw our clock, first we will draw one circle. So let's draw ctx.begin path, and then we will draw the circle ctx.arc, and the center coordinates will be cx comma cy, the radius will be radius, and then start angle 0, end angle will be 360 degree, that is 2 into magnitude pi. Then we will set the fill style ctx.fill style, let's say yellow. Then we will fill the circle ctx.fill. Now let's call the function draw clock. Let's save it and come back to our web page. Let's refresh our page. You can see one yellow circle. Now come back to our HTML file. Now at the center of the yellow circle, we are going to draw a small black circle. So let's draw ctx.begin path, then ctx.arc. This time the center will be same, but the radius will be different, 20, and start angle 0, end angle 2 into magnitude pi. The fill style will be different. Let's say black. Now fill it. Let's save it and refresh our page. You can see one black circle at the center of the yellow circle. Now come back to our HTML file. We have to draw the numbers on our clock from 1 to 12. To draw the numbers, we are going to create one more function. Let's create function, and the name of the function will be draw numbers. In this function, we are going to create one variable, and in this variable we will store the distance of the numbers from the center, and that distance will be 30 less than our radius, and the font will be 40 pixel area. Similarly, we are going to initialize one angle, and this angle will be 0. Then we are going to change the fill style, ctx style fill style. Let's say red. After that, we have to draw the numbers from 1 to 12. To do so, we are going to run one for loop. For let I is equal to 1, I is smaller than or equal to 12, and then I plus plus. In this for loop, we are going to draw a text. ctx dot fill text, and the text will be I dot to string. We should convert the numbers from 1 to 12 to string, and we need to provide the coordinates of the numbers. The x coordinate will be equal to cx plus r times math dot cos angle. Similarly, the y coordinate will be equal to cy plus r times math dot sine and angle. Then we'll increase our angle by 30 degree or pi by 6 radian, because we see in our clock each numbers are at a distance of 30 degree. So let's increase. That pi by 6. Now we are going to call our function. Draw numbers. Let's save it and let's refresh our page. You see the numbers from 1 to 12 appearing on the circle. But you see the numbers are not at their actual position. This 12 should be at the top and 6 should be at the bottom, and so on. To solve this problem, we can rotate these numbers by 60 degree. If we rotate the numbers by 60 degree, this 12 come to the top and this 6 will come to the bottom, and the other numbers will also be adjusted. So let's come back to our HTML file and let's change this 0 degree to minus math dot pi by 3, so that it will be rotated by 60 degree in anti-clockwise direction. Now let's save it and let's refresh our page. Now you can see the numbers are coming at their actual position, but the numbers are not aligned at the center. So to solve this problem, let's come back to our HTML file and we will add ctx dot text align equal to center, text align equal to center. Similarly, ctx dot text baseline equal to middle. Now let's save it and let's refresh our page. Now you can see the numbers are at the center and they are looking good. Now let's come back to our HTML file. Next we have to draw our hands of the analog clock, that is our hand, minute hand and second hand. To draw the hands, we are going to create one function. So let's create function, and the function name will be draw hand, and this function will take some arguments: angle, length, color and line width. The different hands will have different length, different color and different line width, and also they will have different position, that is angle. So this function will take the arguments and draw the specific hands. Now let's draw the hands. ctx dot begin path, then ctx dot line width, and line width will be equal to L width. Then after ctx dot line cap, it will be round, so that the ends of the hands will be round and it will give a nice look. Then ctx dot move to, the starting will be the center of the circle, that is cx comma cy, and then the ending of the hands will be different positions, and for that we will add ctx line 2, and the x coordinate will be equal to cx plus length into math dot cos and angle. Similarly, the y coordinate will be equal to cy plus length into math dot sine and angle. Now let's understand these coordinates of the end of hands. Here we have one circle with center O, and we have to draw our minute hand, hour hand, and second hand of the clock from center O to any desired point on the circumference of the circle. Here OP is representing our clock hand. We have to draw OP. To do so, we need to know the coordinates of O and the coordinates of P. And we already know the coordinates of O, that are Cx, Cy. Now we need to know the coordinates of P. When we move from O to P, we move OR distance in horizontal direction and RP distance in vertical direction. By trigonometry, OR is equal to R cos alpha and RP is equal to R sin alpha. So when we move from point O to point P, we move R cos alpha in horizontal direction and R sin alpha in vertical direction. Now we can easily get the coordinates of P. To get the coordinates of P, we will add R cos alpha to x coordinate of O and R sin alpha to y coordinate of O. That is, the x coordinate of P will be equal to Cx plus R cos alpha and y coordinate will be equal to Cy plus R sin alpha. In this way, we can draw our clock hands. We will add the stroke style, ctx dot stroke style, and it will be a color, and that color will be equal to the argument, that is color. Then we will draw the hands for that and ctx dot stroke. That's it. Next we are going to create one more function, and within that function we will call the draw hand function to draw all the three hands of the clock. So let's add function, and the name of the function will be complete hands, and within this function we are going to get the current date and time. So here current time is equal to new date, and from this current time we are going to access the hours, minutes and seconds separately, and we will store them in separate variables. So let's add it. Here h is equal to h for hours, current time dot get hours, but these hours will be up to 24, and in our clock there are only numbers from 1 to 12. So let's get the remainders. For that we will add percent sign and then 12, so that the number of hours will be up to 12. Similarly, minute m is equal to current time dot get minutes, then here s is equal to current time dot get seconds. Next we have to calculate the angle by which the hour hand will rotate for a particular time. So let me first calculate and then I will make you understand. Here and the angle for the hour hand will be h angle. So let's understand this one. After certain hours, the hour hand turns around by certain angle. Similarly, after certain minutes, the hour hand turns around by another certain angle, and after certain seconds, the hour hand turns around by other certain angle. We know that after 1 hour, the hour hand turns around by 30 degree, that is pi by 6 radian. So we have multiplied this h by math at pi by 6 to get the angle. Similarly, we can calculate the angle for minutes and seconds. First, we have converted this minute into hour by dividing it with 60. Then we have multiplied it with pi by 6 radian to get the angle. Similarly, we have first converted the second into hour by dividing it with 3600 and then multiplied it with pi by 6 to get the angle. And to get the total angle, we have added these three. Next, we will add the length of the hour hand, h length, and this will be equal to radius minus 80, so that it will be a bit smaller. Now we have to draw our hour hand. To draw it, we will call the draw hand function by passing the arguments. So let's call it draw hand, and within this draw hand we will pass the arguments h angle and then h length, and the color will be red, and then line width will be 15. That's it. After that we will call this complete hand function. Let's call it complete hands. Let's save it and refresh our page. You can see the hour hand, but this hour hand will not show the right time. You can see the current time is 10 p.m. but our hour hand is pointing towards 1. To solve this problem, we need to rotate our hour hand by 90 degree in anti-clockwise direction. We are facing this challenge because the coordinates axis in our computer screen and the coordinate axis in the Cartesian plane, that is in the math we study, are not the same. So to solve this problem, we need to change a small thing in our HTML page. So let's come back to our HTML file. And here we are going to make one small change. We will decrease this angle by 90 degree. Math.py by 2. That's it. Now let's save it and come back to our web page and let's refresh it. Now you can see our clock is showing the right time. The current time is 10:02 and our hour hand is also pointing towards the 10. Now we have to draw our minute hand and second hand. So let's come back to our HTML file. And here we are going to add the angle and length for the minute hand and second hand. So let me first add and then I will explain it to you. Now let's understand this one. We know that for 1 minute the minute hand turns through 6 degree, that is pi by 30 radian. So we have multiplied this m with man at pi by 30 to get the angle. In the same way, first we have divided s by 60 so that it is converted into minute, and then we have multiplied it with pi by 30 radian to get the angle. Also, we have subtracted math at pi by 2, that is 90 degree, from m angle. The same thing we have also done in the h angle, so that this will give the correct time. In the same way, we have calculated for the s angle. We know that for 1 second, the second hand moves through 6 degree angle. So for s second, it will move through s into pi by 30 radian. And again, we have subtracted math at pi by 2 from the s angle so that it will give the correct time. Also, you can notice that we have not included hours while calculating the m angle, but we have included it while calculating h angle. This is because after one complete hours, the minute hand rests at the original position, that is at 0 degree or 360 degree. Similarly, we have not included hours and minutes in s angle. It is because after one complete hour or after one complete minute, the second hand rests at original position, that is at 0 degree or 360 degree. So we did not include that. We have also given the m length and the s length for the length of the minute hand and length of the second hand. Now to draw the minute hand and second hand, we have to call the draw hand function. So let's call it for the minute hand and second hand, draw hand, and for the minute hand it will be m angle and M length. Then under color, let's say blue, and the line width will be 10 for the minute hand. Similarly, for the second hand, draw hand, S angle, then S length, color, let's say green, and then line width 5. That's it. Now let's save the changes and let's refresh our page. Now you can see our hand, minute hand and second hand, but the hands are not updating. They are not showing the time continuously. To make them show the time continuously, let's come to our HTML file. Now we need to create one more function. Let's create it. Function, and the name of the function will be update screen. And in this function, we will cut it and paste it here. After that, we will call this function update screen. Then we will add one set interval. For the update screen, and the time will be 1000 milliseconds, so that it will update our clock every second. That's it. Let's save the changes and come back to our page. Let's refresh it. Now you can see that the hands are moving. They are updating the time, showing the correct time every second. Now let's add some CSS. Come back to our HTML file. Let's scroll up, and here we are going to add some CSS. My canvas, and within this we are going to add border 5 pixels solid, sand, then border radius, it will be 50%, and position will be relative, top 50%, and the left 50%. Then transform, translate minus 50%, comma minus 50%, so that it will be positioned at the center. Now let's save the changes and let's refresh our page. Now you can see our clock is positioned at the center and the hands are moving continuously to show the correct time. Like and share this video and don't forget to subscribe. Jai Siyaram.